Hello students. Last time we started lesson number 7 lenses. Last time we learned about the lenses. There are two types of lenses, concave lens and convex lens, and related concepts. Even magnification formula, lens formula, power of the lens and etc. Today we start the next topic, human eye and working of its lens. A question is asked on this topic. What are the important parts of human eye and write its functions? Even the diagram is asked for the 2 marks. Draw a neat labeled diagram of human eye. So try to do the practice of this human eye diagram at home and see what are the important parts and their function given in this next topic. There is a very thin transparent cover called as a membrane on the human eye. That is called as what? Cornea. So first part is cornea. What is the function? Light enters the eye through it. Maximum amount of incident light is refracted inside the eye at the outer surface of the cornea. That is the function. This is the first part, cornea. Next one. There is a dark fleshy screen behind the cornea is called as the iris. Iris is the second important part of human eye. What is the speciality of it? The color of iris is different for different people. Third part is a pupil. There is a small hole of a changing diameter at the center of the iris. It's called pupil. What is the function of pupil? Underline. The pupil controls the amount of light entering the eye. If the light falling on the eye is too bright, pupil contracts, while if the light is dim, it widens. On the surface of iris, there is a bulge of a transparent layer. So there is a double convex transparent crystalline lens just behind the pupil. So next important part is eye lens. That is a convex transparent crystalline lens, or shortly called as eye lens. What is the function? The lens provides small adjustment of focal length to focus the image. This lens creates a real and inverted image of an object on the screen inside the eye. Next important part is a retina. The screen is made of light sensitive cells. It's called retina. These cells get excited when light falls on them and generate electrical signals. These signals are conveyed to the brain through the optic nerve. Later, the brain analyzes these signals and converts them in such a way that we perceive the object as they actually are. So in this way, these are the some important parts of human eye are given in this paragraph. So write down the parts and its a speciality, its a function point wise. Next, see the diagram of human eye. While seeing object at large, infinite distances, the lens of the eye becomes flat and its focal length increases as shown in part A of the figure 7.12. Now check here. This one. While seeing nearby object, the lens becomes more rounded and its focal length decreases. That is shown in the part B figure in 7.12. You check that. This way, we can see objects clearly irrespective of their distances. The capacity. Now, next point is given here. What is meant by power of accommodation? Mark the definition. Mark the meaning. The capacity of the lens to change its focal length as per need is called power of accommodation. Although the elastic lens can change its focal length to increase or decrease it, it cannot do so beyond a limit. Now check the figure of human eye and its important parts. Ciliary muscles are there, then iris, pupil, crystalline lens, cornea, sclerotic coat, then choroid, your muscles, optic nerves, optic disc, and your last part is, this is important part, that is the retina. So try to draw the diagram, not a colorful, but instead of that you draw the two-dimensional figure. Next, here in this green paragraph, 4 definitions are given. First one, minimum distance of distinct vision. So mark the answer. The minimum distance of an object from a normal eye at which it is clearly visible without stress on the eye is called as minimum distance of distinct vision. Next, the position of the object at this distance. This distance means which distance? At minimum distance of distinct vision. That underline words you introduce or add at the word this. The position of the object at minimum distance of distinct vision is called near point of the eye. So what is this near point? Underline. For a normal human eye, the near point is at 25 centimeter. Next definition, fastest distance of the distinct vision. So mark from here. The farthest distance of an object from a human eye at which it is clearly visible without stress on the eye is called farthest distance of distinct vision. So what is meant by far point of the eye? Again mark the definition. The position of the object at, again instead of the word this, what we write? We are writing farthest distance of distinct vision is called far point of the eye. So what is this point? Where is that point? Underline. For a normal human eye, the far point is at infinity. So these are the 4 points are given in this box. So you write separately, define like that. Do you know? Remember these concepts. The eyeball is approximately spherical and has a diameter of about 2.4 centimeter. The working of the lens in a human eye is extremely important. The lens can change its focal length to adjust and see object at different distances. In a relaxed state, underline. In a relaxed state, the focal length of healthy eye is 2 centimeter. What is the focal length of healthy eye? 2 centimeter in a relaxed state. Underline that sentence. The other focus of the eye is on the retina, because in case of lenses we learn that basic diagrams, two principal focus points are present. Next, now here questions given for us. Now try this. Try to read a book keeping it very far from your eyes. Second, try to read a book keeping it very close to your eyes. And third one, try to read a book keeping it at a distance of 25 centimeter from your eyes. So at which time you see the alphabets clearly and why? Perform this activity. Very simple. So we are checking the answer of these three questions. See the explanation. What is the explanation given? So answer. The alphabets can be read clearly by keeping the book at a distance of approximately 25 centimeter from the eyes. This is because for a normal eye, minimum distance at which an object can be seen most distinctly, means clearly without strain or stress, is about 25 centimeter in front of the eye. The object placed at a distance less or more than 25 centimeter appears blur. Getting all of you? Come back to our previous page. Now defects of vision and their corrections. Some people cannot see things clearly due to loss of accommodation power of the lenses in their eyes. Because of defective refraction by the lenses, their vision becomes faint and fuzzy. In general, there are three types of refraction defects. So questions are asked here 3 to 5 marks. What is myopia? It is also called as a nearsightedness. What are its two possible reasons? How is it corrected? And explain with the help of diagram. In this way, 3 to 5 mark question asked related to myopia. Second defect, farsightedness, that is a hypermetropia. And third defect is that is a presbyopia. So question asked on this third defect, write a short note on presbyopia. So one by one we learn here. First one, nearsightedness. What is my nearsightedness or myopia? Mark the definition or meaning. In this case, I can see nearby object clearly, but the distant means far object appear in a distinct means not clearly. This means that the far point of the eye is not at infinity but shifts closer to the eye. In a nearsightedness, the image of the distant object forms in front of the retina. Check here. In this second figure, distant object is very far. So where the image is formed? Before the retina. Here. That is not a reaches up to the retina. In case of a normal human eye, the image is formed on the retina, but in myopic eye, image is formed before the retina here. There are two possible reasons. First one, the curvature of the cornea and the eye lens increases. Curvature increases. The muscles near the lens cannot relax so that the converging power of the lens remains large. That's why before the retina converging is occur. And second one, the eyeball elongates, means length increases, elongates so that the distance between the lens and the retina increases. This distance between the lens and retina increases, that is called as a elongates. These are the two reasons. So how this defect corrected? This defect can be corrected by using spectacle with concave lens of a proper focal length. Which lens is used to correct the myopia? Answer is what? Concave lens, suitable concave lens. Now see the more explanation. This lens diverges the, check in the third one. This is the correction. So here lens is used. Which lens? Concave lens. So concave lens is a diverging lens. This lens diverges the incident rays, and these diverged rays can be converged by the eye lens, lens in the eye to form the image on the retina, reaches up to retina after using the spectacles. The focal length of a concave lens is a negative. So, lens with a negative power is required for corresponding nearsightedness. The power of the lens is different for different eyes depending on the magnitude of their nearsightedness. So, this is about the first defect, that is a myopia. Second defect is farsightedness, or also called as a hypermetropia. In this defect, the human eye can see, what is hypermetropia? So that is the meaning is given here. In this defect, the human eye can see distant object, means far object clearly, but cannot see nearby object distinctly, means clearly. This means that near point of the eye is no longer at 25 cm but shifts further away. As shown in the figure 7.4 here, the images of the nearby object get formed behind the retina. Check there. The image of an object is not formed on this retina, but instead of that reaches behind the retina. Now two possible reasons are given here. First one, the curvature of the cornea and eye lens decreases so that converging power of the lens becomes less. And second reason, due to flattening of the eyeball, the distance between the lens and retina decreases. These are the two possible reasons. Next, the defect can be corrected by using suitable convex lens with a proper focal length. So if you write this word, convex lens is used for its correction, so you are getting 1 mark. This lens converges the incident rays before they reaches the lens. The lens then converge again them to the form the image on the retina, means 2 times converging occur, first by using this convex lens and second by our eye lens. Our eye lens is also a converging type, so 2 times converging occur and an image is formed on the retina. In this way correction is occur. The focal length of a convex lens is positive. The spectacle used to correct the farsightedness has a positive power. The power of these lenses is different depending on its extent of farsightedness. So in this way, this is the second defect, myopia and hypermetropia. 2 defects over. Now third defect is presbyopia. Here 2 to 3 marks short note is asked. Generally, the focusing power of eye lens, what happen? Eye lens decreases with age. The muscles near the lens lose their ability to change the focal length of the lens. The near point of the lens shifts farther from the eye. Because of this, old people cannot see nearby object clearly. Sometimes people suffer from nearsightedness as well as farsightedness. In such a case, what is used? Underline. Bifocal lenses are required to correct both this defect. In such a lens, the upper part, underline. In bifocal lens, upper part is a concave lens and correct nearsightedness, while lower part is a convex lens which correct the farsightedness. So in this way, these are the three defects occur in human eye. Now try this. Some questions given for us. This activity is for you only. Make a list of students in your class using spectacles. Record the power of their lenses and find out and note which type of defect of vision they suffer from and which defect is the most common among the students or among your friends. Next, apparent size of an object. Consider two objects PQ, see in the figure, and P1Q1 having same size but kept at different distances from an eye as shown in the figure. As the angle alpha subtended by PQ at the eye is larger than the angle beta subtended by P1Q1, PQ appears bigger than P1Q1. Thus, the apparent size of an object depends on the angle subtended by the object at the eye. Angle is greater, the object is looking bigger in size, and angle subtended with our eye is smaller, the object is observing smaller in size. Now use your brain power. Why do we have to bring a small object near the eyes in order to see it clearly? And second question, if we bring an object closer than 25 centimeter from the eyes, why can we not see it clearly even though it subtend a bigger angle at the eye? This is a give reason question. In exercise, third give reason question given in our exercise. Now you check. So see the answers of these questions. First one. Answer of the first one. The apparent size of an object depends on the angle subtended by the object with the eye. That point, this point we learn in the previous point, that is apparent size of the object. The object appears larger if it subtend greater angle with the eye. And second answer is given here. See that give reason. What is that give reason question? We cannot clearly see an object kept at a distance less than 25 centimeter from the eye. See the point wise. The muscles attached to the eye lens, that is ciliary muscles, help in fine adjustment of the focal length of the lens. Second point, the capacity of these muscles to contract or relax to adjust the focal length, that is power of accommodation, has a limit. Third point, and the minimum distance of an object from a normal eye for which the eye lens can decreases its focal length to the least possible value is 25 centimeter, not less than that, and that's why that is happening. Next point is given for us, that is in our textbook. What are the uses of concave lenses? So question asked here. Anyway, question is asked 2 marks, 3 marks, 5 marks, or in other pattern. What are the uses of concave lens? The first one, medical equipment, scanner, CD player. These instruments use laser light. For proper working of these equipments, concave lenses are used. First is over. Now second, the peephole in door. This is a small safety device which help us see a large area outside the door. This uses one or more concave lenses. Third one, spectacles. Concave lenses are used in spectacles to correct near-sightedness, that is the myopia. Fourth one, in torches. Concave lens is used to spread widely the light produced by a small bulb inside a torch. And last one, camera, telescope and microscope. These instruments mainly use a convex lens. To get good quality images, a concave lens is used in front of the eyepiece or inside it. So these are some uses of concave lenses are given here. So question is asked in the exam, so you write the answer point wise. Next, use of convex lenses. Now first one, simple microscope. What do you mean by simple microscope? A convex lens with a small focal length produces a virtual, erect and bigger image of an object. Such a lens is called as what? Simple microscope, or also called as magnifying lens. One can get a 20 times larger image of an object using such microscope. Simple microscope. Now these are used to watch repairs. Now testing precious gems and finding their defects. This is the first one. Diagrams are given here. Both the diagrams, object is close to the lens and object is at a focus. Next, second one, compound microscope. Question is asked here, what is the construction and working of a compound microscope? So try to draw the diagram, ray diagram. Here one object is showing, one objective lens. Now one eyepiece, that is this lens is close to our eye, that's why giving the name eyepiece or eye lens. And then image is formed. Now see the explanation. Simple microscope is used to observe small size object, but minute objects like blood cells, cells of plants and animals, and minute living beings like bacteria cannot be magnified sufficiently by simple microscope. So compound microscopes are used to study these objects. So construction start from this point. A compound microscope is made of two convex lenses named as objective lens and eyepiece. Objective and eyepiece. And you write the answer point wise. Second, the objective has a smaller cross section and smaller focal length. The eyepiece has bigger cross section and its focal length is also larger than that of objective. Higher magnification can be obtained by the combined effect of these two lenses. Now check the size of the object and combined effect of these two, we are obtain the magnified image. As shown in the above figure, magnification occur in two stages. The image formed by the first lens, acts as the object for the second lens. The axes of both the lenses are along the same line. The lenses are fitted inside a metallic tube in such a way that the distance between them can be changed. So this is the object for this first lens. Then image is formed by this first lens, and this image is act as a object for this second. This image is act as an object for this second lens, that is the eyepiece, and to obtain the what virtual and erect image with respect to this virtual and erect image is formed. Next, telescope. Telescope is used to see distant objects clearly in their magnified form. The telescope used to observe astronomical sources like the stars and the planets. Mark the definition. The telescope used to observe the astronomical sources like stars and planets are called astronomical telescopes. So their telescopes are of two types. Which is the first one? First one is a refracting telescope. What is used in this refracting telescope? Two lenses. Lenses are used. And second one is a reflecting telescope. This uses mirrors as well as lenses. In both of these, the image formed by the objective act as object for the image formed by the image formed by the objective act as an object for the eyepiece, which forms the final image. Objective lens has a large diameter and a larger focal length, because of which what maximum amount of light coming from the distant object can be collected. For that purpose, objective is bigger in size. See the figure on the next page. Exact opposite. Here eyepiece is bigger in size in compound microscope, but in a refracting telescope, objective is bigger in size. Clear? Now see that explanation. On the other hand, the size of the eyepiece is smaller and its focal length is also less. Comparatively, both the lenses are fitted inside a metallic tube in such a way that the distance between them can be changed. The principal axes of both the lenses are along the same straight line, generally using the same objective but different eyepieces. Different magnification can be obtained. So this is the ray diagram for a refracting telescope. So objective lens is bigger in size, eyepiece is smaller in size. So object is at infinity or at far distance from the lens, so incident rays are parallel, so image is formed at this place. This image is act as an object for this second lens, that is a eyepiece, and then image is formed at infinite distance. Next one, optical instrument. Fourth use of convex lens. Convex lenses are used in various other optical instruments like a camera, projector, spectrograph, etc. And one more use is given, that is spectacles. Convex lenses are used in spectacles for correcting farsightedness, that is the hypermetropia. Now try this. Take a burning incense stick in your hand and rotate it fast along a circle. One more question. Draw a cage on one side of a cardboard and a bird on the other side. Hang the cardboard with the help of a thread. twist the thread and leave it. What do you see and why? Now see the answer of these two questions. What is the first one? About the burning incense stick. When a burning incense stick is rotated fast along a circle, so we see the illusion of continuous circle being formed. You perform this simple activity in dark. You rotate the burning incense stick very fast, so you are not getting a single red spot, but instead of that you are observing the continuous circle. Second, when a cardboard with a cage drawn on one side and a bird drawn on other is tied to a thread and twisted, we get the illusion of the bird inside the cage. I think some students are familiar about these activities. So these phenomena happen due to persistence of vision. That is happen because of persistence of vision. So question is asked here, what is mean by persistence of vision? So answer is given here, and in that paragraph, what is the answer? The image remains imprinted on our retina for 1/16th of a second. After the object is removed, the sensation on a retina persists for a while. It's called persistence of vision. Check here in this paragraph. Persistence of vision. We see an object because the eye lens creates its image on the retina. The image is on the retina as long as the object is in front of us. The image disappears as soon as the object is taken away. However, this is not instantaneous, and the image remains imprinted on our retina for 1/16th of a second after the object is removed. So you mark from here. The sensation on the retina persists for a while. It's called persistence of vision. That is the answer. For example, what are examples in day-to-day life? Can you think about this? So I will give some examples, and you try to find out few more examples. Check that. Few examples. First one, where we observe the persistence of vision. Motion picture use persistence of vision to make the scenes seem continuous. Second, flip books use the idea of persistence of vision to give the feel of a continuous and smooth motion. Newton's disc uses persistence of vision to show white color when the disc is spinning rapidly. And one more example, rotating fan blades appears continuous due to persistence of vision. So you try to find out few more examples related to persistence of vision. Next, can you tell, one question is given on page number 91, how do we perceive different colors? Now see the answer given in that paragraph also, and I see on my page also. First point, the retina in our eyes is made up of many light sensitive cells. These cells are rod shaped and cone shaped. The rod shaped cells respond to the intensity of light. They cannot distinguish between lights of different colors. The cone shaped cells respond to the color and give information to the brain. Brain processes all the information received and we see the actual image of the object. Rod-shaped cells respond to faint light also, but conical cells do not. And thus, we perceive color only in bright light. The conical cells can respond differently to red, green and blue colors. So see that last paragraph given on the page number 91. The retina in our eyes is made up of many light sensitive cells. These cells are shaped like a rod and like a cone. The rod-like cells respond to the intensity of light and give information about the brightness or dimness of the object to the brain. The conical cells respond to the color and give information about the color of the object to the brain. Brain processes all the information received and we see the actual image of the object. Rod-like cells respond to faint light also, but conical cells do not. Thus, we perceive color only in bright light. The conical cells can respond differently to red, green and blue colors. When red color falls on the eyes, the cell responding to red light get excited more than those responding to other colors and we get the sensation of a red color. Some people lack conical cells, means absent these conical type of cells responding to certain colors. These persons cannot recognize those colors or cannot distinguish between different colors. Like that person are said to be color blind. What do you mean by color blind? So mark the proper answer. Apart from not being able to distinguish between different colors, their eyesight is normal. Their eyesight is normal, but they are unable to distinguish different colors. Why? Because conical cells are not present in that person's. Lack means absent. So in this way, today we learn about the human eye, the defects produced in human eye, that is myopia, hypermetropia and presbyopia. Then uses of concave lens, convex lens, persistence of vision. These are some points, important points we learn in this lesson. So read, observe the video carefully and whatever the question answers given in assignment, try to write down the answer. So I will give assignment and next time I will give solution also, but first of all you try to find out the answer by own from this video. Thank you.